Good evening, people. As you could see, SR went in and said to debate me on stuff because for some reason Ryan thinks that's the only study that's out there. I just gave him the oldest one because you see, back in the medical community back in the 1800s, they knew about eating too much produce caused bacillic acid diathesis. It's from about 1876, and it was a common illness that people would get from overindulging in produce. So it led up to this study, but the 1939 study isn't the only study, Ryan. You see, that's a misconception that if you would have looked in a little deeper than what was in front of your face, you would know this. So saying that I don't know anything, you should at least know. Here's the list from St. Joseph's, oxalate in food. One of your people asked, if you cook spinach, does it remove the oxalates? No, don't cook it because it actually doubles up the oxalates, Ryan. But you couldn't tell her that, could you, Ryan? Why? Because you don't have no credentials and you don't know anything. At least I was offered tenure in St. John's University twice, Brian, twice. I own my own company, Brian. I'm on Wall Street. I'm called the witch. When people wouldn't put hundreds of millions of dollars into a company, they call me, and what I do is I investigate them, the fund they want to invest in. I'm well trusted. My company's on Dun and Bradstreet. For the past 20 years, any information that I got, or give out, or paid to give, is proven to be 100% reliable. I'm not in the corner picking out some guitar and living some kind of vegan fantasy. The information you're giving out is not complete. You had one of you guys come up to me and says he subsists on, I can't remember his name, he's so irrelevant, Fart K. He's telling me he eats a bunch of kale a day, right, with a couple of cups of greens, and the amount of kale that you would have to eat to have 2,000 calorie a day minimum diet for a man, he'd have to eat around 47 cups of kale. Each one of those cups has 2 milligrams. Yeah, it looks small, but eat 47 cups a day on top of other stuff? Yes, you're going to have over 94 milligrams of oxalates in your body just from eating kale with a couple of cups of greens. I mean, look at the list. Beans, legumes. Look. I like to take a look at that cookbook. I think I'm going to buy one. Look at all the oxalates. This is the good choices. You guys are eating, how much bok choy do you have to eat to get the correct amount of calories per day? How much? Even if you eat bok choy, who has half the oxalates as kale, you would still be over the recommended daily average of oxalates in your diet, Ryan. Can you pick up a calculator? Or you worried about what year the study was done? Not to the fact that it still stands as fact now? You haven't proven anything. The only thing you could find wrong with this study is that it's not the staple of everything. Yeah, fine with that. But the year is an issue? You know, they split the atom in 1940. I hope that still counts. The principles don't go away, Ryan, just because it's an old study. I don't know these, and then he blocks people telling him to debate me, and he also blocked me from the beginning. But Ryan doesn't block anybody. He just tossed out SR, said, look, stop the nonsense and just debate him. And a lot of people are telling me to debate you, Ryan, because they followed your advice and they got extremely sick. Your cookbook is a recipe for disaster. So instead of focusing on this, you should have turned around and said, well, 1939? This isn't 1939 right here. This is current. You can go down to 29th Street and sit in the bleachers and listen to the doctors explain it to you. What am I talking about? Enteric hyperoxaluria. Enteric hyperoxaluria, sometimes known as secondary hyperoxaluria, is caused by body absorbing too much oxalate from the food people eat. And you're telling people to eat that food. Just the starter kit right here that shows that you're leading people into something that they shouldn't be involved in. Sure, you can eat a few vegetables mixed with some kind of meat. But when you subsist on nothing but vegetables, your oxalate count is going to go through the roof. And the reason why is because you don't know what you're eating. Even if you eat kale and you subsist on kale, you still have to eat 47 cups of kale to get 2,000 calories. And on top of that, you're going to get 94 milligrams of oxalates. Even if you change it to bok choy, which is half, you're going to have to eat 47 cups of bok choy to get the 2,000 recommended calories. What's going to happen? You're going to be over 45 milligrams of oxalates. Not good. You said you eat beans. Look at this. You haven't proved anything. You was dismissive, but none of that stuff that you put up there has proven me to be wrong. And again, when I went on to your channel during the Friday debate, I put it in once. I asked you once, twice, 3 times, and all you did was focus on the person that was a little tipsy, that was accusing you of being a lizard man, and you just focused on that, and you never focused that on the information that you were giving out. And that's what I'm trying to provide people information. That's what I do for a living. And the information that you're giving out is unfounded and has no basis in fact. It's destructive. I have access to doctors, nutritionists, engineers. They all get paid for me to be on a consulting fee basis. If I got a question, they're going to get me the information and get it back, and I'll forward it to somebody else after I compile it all together. That's what I do for a living, Ryan. So what else are you guys eating that's on this list, especially since you're overindulging in it, that you would even make kale toxic because the amounts you have to eat to get proper calories? Pick up a calculator. I mean, look at this. Avocados, carrot juice, one fucking date is 24 milligrams. If you would eat 2 dates, you would be already at the oxalate threshold for the day. And that's coming from a nutritionist. Figs, fresh. So you're eating all of this stuff. Even an orange has 29 milligrams of oxalates. That's why you have to eat a balanced diet that's not too heavily laden with oxalates. And the only way you can do that is by consuming meat, or this 1939 study kind of gives you a warning, right, Ryan? Reproduction is impossible. The bones are extremely low in calcium and tooth structure. It was in rats. Well, Ryan, most of the medicine that you take has been tested on animals, Ryan. It's modern science. Those white Lab rats are the ones that get sacrificed so you can have your vaccinations, Ryan. It's called science. They're called lab rats for a reason. Unless, of course, maybe you want to use people like you're doing in your vegan experiment, which already cost a couple of kids their lives and had their parents go to jail for murder. I don't know how you can be okay with that. And then I tell you, it's not just spinach or those, it's not just those ones that are here. This is the starter kit right here. And this clearly tells you, yes, there is poisonous plants. And yes, they are vegan staples. I've watched people put together a concoction, which I calculated from this list. They had 3,000 milligrams of oxalates in it. And then you say in your cookbook has no oxalates in it, and you don't even know how much oxalates are involved in all the materials that you use for your cookbook. You are disingenuous, all right? Because you seem to think that everything focuses just on here because you have a childish view of the world. No, it's not just that. It's this right here. Ryan, you don't have these people's credentials. They're telling you you eat too much oxalates, you're going to get enteric hyperoxaluria. It's going to lead to oxalosis, and it's going to cut your kidneys down. You're going to get kidney stones. And there's plenty of people out there that are ex-vegans that will attest that they got kidney stones. Char, Daphne, kidney stones. Daphne's friends had their gallbladders removed. Doesn't slow you down one bit, does it, Ryan? How about having a little empathy for people? So here goes the list. Ryan, I don't know what to say to you, but what eventually is going to happen, there's a law firm out there already talking about this, and there's a whole bunch of people that got sick from this vegan quackery, and they're talking to the lawyer. They're going to begin a civil lawsuit. Good luck with it. Good luck. For some reason, I can't figure it out. I mean, they have such a narrow view that if you give them one study, and believe me, I have more than one study, and I'm going to keep posting up the studies day by day by day by day, and I want to see what reaction I get from these guys, these quacks. I want to see how they're going to dispute a whole bunch of professors that if you eat a lot of oxalates, you're going to get enteric hyperoxaluria. It doesn't exist no more, according to Ryan. According to Ryan, see, these 5 things right here is the only things that I think vegans eat. I said that's part of the staples, but no, it's much more a bigger list than you think. And the quantities that vegans eat of these items over here on the good side, it's still going to put their oxalates in the danger zone because of the number of calories they have to consume of these items. And that's it. But thanks for blocking me, Ryan, because I know, you blocked me and you blocked SR when he told you we knew what you guys were going to do. And it ended up really backfiring on you because as you were doing that, we were talking on somebody else and saying they're going to do this and they're going to do that, and you actually did do it. Also, ladies out there, you should know this. This was done in the laboratory. Oxalate induces breast cancer. Why you would try to choose to eat the most high oxalate diet in the world, knowing this, I wouldn't refer to you as being smart at all. And on that note, I'm out of here.